Mommy made for you, little Mrs. Mittens. Put her right here. And we have Mr. Mittens, who Mommy also made for you. We're gonna put him right here, okay? Right there. So you can just relax. Relax. Relax, relax, relax. It's time for sleepy bye. You're feeling so sleepy. Sleepy fingers. Sleepy fingers. Sleepy fingers. Sleepy fingers. You're gonna have wonderful, cozy, safe dreams. So safe and snug as a bug in a rug. Relax. Mommy and Daddy are so proud of you. We love you so much. And I'm so grateful to have you. We both are. Relax, 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 relax. I'm gonna stay with you here until you fall asleep, okay? Relax your face. Relax your cheeks. Relax your cheeks. Relax. Relax your whole head from the tippy top. And imagine a beautiful pool of relaxation that floats down your body. And as you breathe in and out, you feel that puddle of relaxation drift down to your neck. So relaxed. Down to your shoulders and your chest and your tum-tum. So relaxed. the way down to your little tootsies. Relaxing your little tootsies. Relax, relax, relax. Give your toes a little wiggle, just a little wiggle. Just a little wiggle. And then relax. You're so safe and cozy and warm. So safe and cozy and warm. With your nice relaxed little tootsies. Relax those tootsies. Relax your hands. Relax your hands. Everything's going to be okay. You're so cozy and safe. And Mommy and Daddy love you so much. You're gonna have beautiful fun, sweet dreams. Sleepy time. Close your eyes. Everything's going to be wonderful. In your cozy, sweet dreams. Relax, relax. Relax. So cozy and safe. Everything's going to be okay. Promise. Relax. can stay here in my office. I gotta clean up. I'm gonna be doing some chores and vacuuming and things like that. But, yeah, I'm sorry you're feeling down. Can I get you anything? Do you need some water? Like some water? Okay. How's your tummy feeling? A little normal. Alright, well, maybe I'll make you some toast later. Yeah? You want a piece of toast later? Something that's kind of light. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me get you a glass of water and, try to get some rest. Maybe read a book. Okay? And I'm just gonna be bopping around, alright? I'm gonna keep checking on you like every 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Hang tight, let me get you a glass of water. Oh, you want a straw? Okay, let me get you a straw. 1 second. Put this here. And I'll be right back. Let me get you a straw. Okay. Yeah, I like having straws too when I'm not feeling great. Okay, have a sip. Have a sip. Good. Okay, have another. Have a little more. Have another little sip. Alright. I'm gonna be listening to the news. So if you need anything, you let me know, alright? Okay.
Be doing more.
What's going on here? Bluetooth. Beats solo. There we go. Okay. Good. Here, some more water. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go vacuum, okay? Just keep resting, alright? That's enough. You just keep resting, okay? Alright. Can I get you some more water? Shh. Yeah, here you go. Some more water. Good. Hang on. Lucy. It's enough. Can I, you want anything to eat? You want like a piece of toast or something? Yeah, a piece of toast? Okay, let me make you a piece of toast, alright? Okay. Alright, sit tight. Hang in there. I know you feel more. We're gonna be okay. Lucy's here. The goose is here. The loose goose. The loose goose moosh. The moosh goose. Right. I'll be back in a few minutes, okay? Yeah. Got a little butter on there for you. Yeah, you want a piece of toast? Okay. I'm gonna put this right here for you, okay? Hopefully that'll kind of help settle your tummy. Yeah. You know, I think it's important to eat a little something, even if it's only a few nibbles, okay? Okay. Alright. Alright, have some more water. Good. Alright. I'm still vacuuming the living room, okay? If you need anything, just give me a shout. I'll have one ear open. I'll always have one ear listening and one ear opening. Okay? Alright, hang in there. I know. You're gonna feel better real soon. best thing you can do right now is just to try to get some rest. Yeah, let your body heal. That's right. So, if you can, go ahead and go and lay down, close your eyes if you want. If you need me, I'm gonna keep vacuuming. I actually don't even mind vacuuming. I find it satisfying. I like leaving a place cleaner than when I found it. You know what I mean? The temperature, is it too cold? You don't mind the AC on? Okay. Alright, holler if you need me. anything else? No. Okay. Let's try to get some rest, okay? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, just try to get some rest, okay? I love you very much. Okay. Gotta keep vacuuming. I'm not done yet. I know. It's a lot. I gotta clean the kitchen. Chores. Yeah. Lots and lots of chores. Alright. Back to work. Get you some more water or anything? Yeah. Okay. Well, here's some more water. Have some more. Okay. Okay. Need an extra blanket or anything? You're okay? Alright. Alright. Okay. Here's some more water. Here you go. And there you go. It's important that you hydrate. Okay. Okay. Can I get you anything else? You're good. Okay. Well, I think it's time for you to go to sleep. Yeah. Okay. Alright. I love you very much. And I hope that you feel much better very soon. Okay? I love you very much. Alright. Night-night. Close your eyes. Night-night. Okay, kiddo. Alright, you about ready for bed? Yeah. Are you done with your bedtime prep? Have you brushed your teeth? Do you have a nice glass of water? Yes, you do. Good job. So, what would you like to help put you to sleep right now? You want me to sing a little bit? Okay. We can sing a little bit. Okay. Well, why not? Um, it's time for you to go to sleep. Close your eyes. No need to weep. Tomorrow greatest thing that's happened. You are our favorite little bit of luck. It's like strumming chords, and there's a famous style of guitar which I can't play, which is called Hawaiian slack guitar, and that's where they tune their guitars to an open key like G, C, F, whatever. And the goal is basically to lull the listener to sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Rest, rest, rest. Your day was vibrant and cool. You made us proud. So very proud. I remember the day you were born. I was so happy. Not at all forlorn. When I held you in my hands for the first time, I knew I had a new purpose, divine. watched you grow up so fast and so strong. Your smile and love forever long. There will never be a day I don't love you. On that first day of school, with your little backpack, learning the golden rule, I said, I will always love you. I will always love you. Hush now, close your eyes. Dream wonderful dreams of great big blue skies, I said. Maybe tonight you get to fly. Maybe you'll be a dolphin that loves to swim on by, playing in the waves, the sand, and the sun. Master of the ocean, having oh so much fun. Dream, go ahead and dream. Close your eyes and let your spirit stream. Playing in the sand, watching the tide rollin', building sand castles and eating tuna fin. I will always love you. You're safe here. Nothing can make you blue because we will always love you. We will always love you. You know, my dad used to sing to me. He used to read me stories. I loved it too. Someday, maybe you'll have a family of your own. And your baby will ask, hey, song. I will always love you. We will always love you. Rest. Close your eyes. Tomorrow is always a new surprise. Lay in bed with songs above me going through your head. You came along like a song and made us happy. Look at you grow. Oh, but it fills me with joy. And as you dream, you may sing your own song. I wonder tonight what you might find. Will there be snowy owls and fluffy folding towels wrapping you snug? I love seeing you sleep. It makes me weep. Big tears of joy. In your eyes, I see the skies open and wide. Your future is bright, and I just might hold you in my arms, feeling your heart. You are so smart, kind and generous. I have to say, in my own way, you're the best. so portable and expressive and beautiful. Lucy wants to come in. Well, we could, but she's just very... She's gonna jump on the bed and then, anyway, I think it's better if we, leave her outside the room for now, yeah? No? You want Lucy in? Okay. Alright, Goose. Good girl. Oh, look, I wiggle booty. Okay, have some manners. Have some manners. I'm reading a story. Manners. All the way. Good girl. Okay, well, as long as she stays there, I think we're in good shape. So you wanted a story tonight, okay? I think we were reading your grandpa's story, weren't we? Yeah, Jacques and the Magic Beanstalk, which was his take on kind of a revamped Jack and the Beanstalk, set in a more modern age. Right, it's the story of Jack's son, Jacques, and how he has his own magical adventure in the land of clouds and giants. Yeah? Okay, before I read the story, have you brushed your teeth? Okay, good. Give me a breath smell. Give me a ha. Okay, good. And you have your water ready. I see that you do. Nice. All right, tuck yourself in. Get nice and cozy. And let's continue. I'll read a little bit of the last chapter, which is chapter 3. Then we'll go into chapter 4. So the last couple paragraphs, Jack is climbing up the beanstalk and he's about to enter the world of the giants. The rock seemed only to be about 30 feet thick. Remember, this is right where Jack is emerging. He's been climbing the beanstalk, Then the sides turned to gravel and packed earth, and finally he climbed up and out of this strange vertical tunnel like something climbing out of a well. A strange well, to be sure, with the beanstalk centered therein, and when he emerged onto the world above, what he saw astonished him even more than the beanstalk itself. Chapter 4. Jacques found himself in a field of wheat. For a moment, it was almost as if he had never left home, as if he were suddenly back on the farm. But no, this was nothing like their little farm. The wheat came to his chin. Not far away lay a very wide, well-traveled road. Some distance off to his right stood a vast forest of towering trees with amazing colorful bark. Had Jacques known his trees, he would have known they looked suspiciously like supersized eucalyptus trees. Do you know what eucalyptus trees look like? Well, I think they're from Australia originally. I think koala bears, cute little cuddly koala bears, they eat eucalyptus leaves as their main source of food. And they have kind of like a light, thin bark, and sometimes it's almost like multicolored. You can see greens and reds and like almost like purples and browns. It's a very pretty tree. Anyway, half a mile to his left stood an absolutely enormous stone castle with turrets and high stone walls crowned with battlements. For the moment, there seemed to be no one about. He was alone, and the time felt wrong. It seemed like late afternoon. He had started up the stalk in the early dawn. He thought it must be noon at the very latest, but it didn't feel like noon in this world. He recalled the words of the old woman. Remember her? Yeah, he met her and she had the cart and the bean for the cow. She claimed the magic beans would enable him to provide for his family. He looked at the forest, and he looked at the castle. The castle felt more dangerous, but more promising. Well, he said, no risk, no reward. He had barely set off toward the castle when something caught his eye. A shiny object near the roadside ditch. He squatted and picked it up and examined it. Wow, he said, rubbing the dirt off of it and hefting its weight. He could scarcely believe it. You hear Lucy snoring over there. Yeah, she's passed out. And soon you'll be joining her. Okay, stop it, chair. I don't know why my chair's making so much noise. Okay. It was so big he could scarcely believe it, the shiny object. It was the largest gold coin he had ever seen. The image of a king was stamped on one side and sheaves of wheat on the other, twice the diameter of a silver dollar, and probably 3 times as thick. So a silver dollar is about like, geez Louise, chair. A silver dollar is about that big. So if you imagine, it's a pretty big coin. So this is like the size of a dinner plate almost. Well, maybe not a dinner plate, but pretty big. And it filled the palm of his hand. Jacques didn't know how many ounces it weighed, but he knew it was incredibly valuable. The old woman had been right. Jacques pocketed the heavy coin and returned to the beanstalk. For a moment, he worried that he might not be able to find it. The top of the stalk came level with the wheat. Hence, it wasn't obvious, and light was beginning to fade. It was a long and exhausting climb down. By the time Jacques arrived at the base of the beanstalk, he was weak and shaking and starving, and he couldn't help but notice he had been right about the time. The sun told him that in this world it was now early afternoon. The moment he entered the house, Gertrude Grundy started screaming at him. "Where have you been all day? What is that monstrosity in the backyard?" Before she could continue, Jacques reached into his pocket and held out his hand. She threw him a suspicious look, then leaned in a little closer to see what he held. Her eyes grew wide, and she snatched the heavy gold piece from his hand. For a moment, she stared at it in wonder. Then she licked her lips. "Where did you get this?" She looked into his eyes. "Where did you steal this from?" "I didn't steal it from anybody," Jacques said. "I found it." "Don't you lie to me, boy. You tell me the truth." "I am telling you the truth." As usual, there was no convincing her. "You want me to take it back?" Jacques asked. "Don't you get smart with me, boy," his mother snapped. "Besides," she said, her tone abruptly thoughtful, "why should we return it? We need it more than they do." Jacques had no idea who they might be. He only knew that if he had lost a coin like that one, he would want it back. Juliet approached Jacques and whispered, "Where were you?" Jacques led her upstairs to the bedroom Juliet shared with Jules. When the two of them were out of earshot from their mother, he said, "I climbed the beanstalk." Juliet's grew wide. You climbed it? Jacques nodded with a smile and looked a little smug. Her eyes grew even wider. All the way to the top. All the way. He smiled broadly. Juliet looked stunned. But how could you? It's humongous. That's a very big word for someone your age, Jacques said. Juliet issued a very unladylike snort. I'm pretty smart, you know. Jacques smiled. No doubt about it. I know a lot of big words. I know you do, Jacques said. Now, do you want to know what I saw when I got to the top? Juliet nodded, and Jacques told his wide-eyed sister about his adventure. Wow, Juliet said when he finished. That's incredible. Don't tell Mum. She wouldn't care anyway, Jacques replied. But out of curiosity, why not? She'll make you go back up there, Juliet said. She'll demand you get more of those coins. She'll do that anyway, Jacques said. Well, I was thinking. No, Juliet said. It's too dangerous, and besides, no amount of gold coins will ever satisfy her. You don't think? Mom isn't a person who can't be satisfied, Juliet replied. How did you get so smart? Jacques wanted to know. I'll read. You should try it. Jacques scowled, but he had to admit she had a point. The gold would have fed them longer than the 2 weeks had Jacques' mother not used half of it to buy an expensive necklace. Each day, Jacques kept a careful eye on the beanstalk. He worried it might disappear as magically as it had appeared. The cloud seemed to be a permanent fixture. It could be a rare, perfectly clear day, but the beanstalk always disappeared in that stationary cloud. And no matter what, the center of it was always swirling around the upper end of the stalk, though it was so high, one couldn't properly see it from the ground. Jacques secretly worried about something else. He worried that someone from up there might come down here. Someone, perhaps, looking for a large gold coin. But no one came, and the stalk looked just the same. In the meantime, every other day, he climbed part way up the stalk, first a few 100 feet, then a few 1,000 feet. After a couple of weeks, he was far stronger and a much better climber than he had been the first time around. Jacques worried about nosy neighbors, but their mother took care of that. From day one, she spread the rumor that it was a haunted beanstalk, that it grew from black magic, which she did, of course, believe, that it was a curse on their family and anyone who came within a good stone's throw of it. Worse, she claimed anyone who so much as touched it would die a long, slow, and gruesome death, in which their skin would erupt in boils. Nobody thought to ask how she knew that touching it would turn one's skin to boils, and nobody came near their property. Jacques didn't think her stories did much to keep them away. People avoided them anyway. Now, with the beanstalk reaching to the sky, people would stand in small groups at a distance, gawking at the amazing sight. One morning, their mother said to Jacques, "You need to go up there and find another coin. If someone dropped one, they probably dropped several." Jacques had known this request would come. He also knew he could refuse it, but a big part of him wanted to go. The same part of him had known all along that he would go. That was why he had been training for it. He felt excited and terrified. Juliet wanted to go with him, but Jacques would not hear of it. "There's no point in both of us risking our lives," he said. "It gets a little tricky up high. The branches get thin, and there's a lot of wind. If there's another gold coin, I'll find it." Juliet did not at all like staying behind, but she also didn't like the look of that strange swirling cloud. "It's the same as it's always been," Jacques replied. She made him promise to be extra careful. "You know me," Jacques said. "Safety first." "Right," Juliet said, rolling her eyes with a head shake. Chapter 5. One more chapter. A narrow escape. Jacques donned a small backpack and pulled on a woolen shirt. He also found a pair of leather gloves. He climbed the stalk much faster and with far more confidence than the first time. Again, he reached the field of wheat at lunchtime, despite starting up an hour later. The sky was overcast, and once again it seemed to be getting on towards sunset in Giant Land. How, Jacques asked himself, can it be sunny down there and cloudy up here? "That's the problem with magic," he said softly. "You start changing the rules and everything goes out the window." And when it came to magic, he had never been in a place that felt more magical than this one. Jacques sat in the wheat, next to the tunnel between the worlds. He took off his gloves and opened his small pack and munched on a piece of ham and a hunk of cheese. He had just finished the cheese when he heard the clop, clop, clop of heavy feet and the sound of an enormously heavy wagon crunching on the nearby gravel road. The beanstalk entered this world about 10 yards from the road. Not wanting to be seen, Jacques stayed low and waited. Soon, the biggest wagon he had ever seen passed by. Heaped with giant fresh-cut oats, it was rolling toward the castle, pulled by a pair of enormous horses, twice the size of the huge Clydesdales in the beer ads. And the old man who sat upon the wagon driving them there was 3 times Jacques' height. His beard alone would have filled a medium-sized chair. When the sound of the wagon faded, Jacques stood and looked about. He listened. Nothing but the sound of the breeze and the wheat. The sky looked flat and gray. Jacques walked the short distance to the broad road, pushing aside the tall wheat as he proceeded. He stepped carefully to avoid trampling the wheat and leaving a path. When he reached the hard-packed road, he searched about for a few small rocks, keeping an eye out for gold coins. He found no coins, but he did find a handful of smooth, round stones. He placed the stones on the side of the road where he had emerged from the wheat and arranged them in a random way. When he was finished, the stones looked as if they might have been there for a very long time, but it was the only closely grouped collection in the area. He didn't think anyone would disturb them, and that was important. Without those stones to mark this spot, he could probably find his way back to the beanstalk, but it might take a very long time. As in his previous visit, Jacques headed toward the castle. It towered dark and ominous over the rolling countryside. He walked slowly, looking for gold coins, listening intently to every sound and keeping a wary eye out for others. As he approached the castle, he kept scanning the tooth-like battlements capping the castle's walls. He scanned the castle's towers and the narrow, tall bishop's hat windows standing dark and vacant high in the ramparts. He feared a castle guard might see him, but though he searched carefully, he saw not a single guard. That seemed rather odd. Perhaps, he thought, the giant who inhabited this castle did not feel very threatened. As he came within a few hundred yards, he could see the wooden drawbridge that spanned the castle's moat had been hauled up for the night. He felt mixed emotions about that. On the one hand, the idea of sneaking into the castle scared him to the bone. On the other, he had found no coins, and he hated the thought of returning empty-handed, not because of the wrath of his mother, but because of his sister and little brother. The family needed money to buy food. 100 yards from the castle, the field of wheat ended in a grassy area, the uneven grass clipped short as if grazed by sheep. Beyond the encircling lawn, between Jacques and the castle's wide moat, stood a small outer wall of stacked fieldstone about twice Jacques' height. Jacques looked all about, fearful he would be seen. He continued to scan the tops of the castle walls towering above him and the many vacant windows. He judged that the masons who built the castle must have been like those who built the cathedrals of Europe. They did amazing work. They had cut the massive stone blocks perfectly square, and sanded them smooth. Approaching that mighty wall, Jacques felt tiny as a mouse. A massive gate guarded the road where it passed through the fieldstone wall. Jacques thought he could slip through the gate, but instead, he angled to his left. After verifying he was still alone, he quickly scrambled to the top of the small wall. He intended to drop down on the other side, but what he saw before him caused him to hesitate. He squatted atop the wall, sniffed, and wrinkled his nose. It smelled like a barnyard, and indeed, that is exactly what it was. Dozens of pens and cages, separated by a maze of aisles, crowded the area around the fieldstone wall and the castle's wide moat. The aisles looked plenty wide to Jacques, but he could see how they would be narrow for a giant. To his left, pigs the size of ponies grunted and snorted. Ahead, there sat a cage the size of a small circus tent, and in that cage, he counted at least 20 ducks. But not just any ducks. These ducks were the size of ostriches, big enough that a person could ride them if ducks could be ridden. For a moment, he imagined gliding along, perched atop the back of such a duck on a quiet lake. Wouldn't that be fun? To his right, where the drawbridge came down, sat a similar cage of gigantic chickens, standing taller than Jacques himself. Those chickens looked scary. Their sharp beaks were as long as his forearm. Oof. Scary. On the far side of the road sat another very large pen. It contained the largest dairy cows Jacques had ever seen. They quietly milled about, and they were so large their heads came even with Jacques, where he perched on the wall. Then he saw something that really made his eyes grow wide. Farther away, in a taller pen made of massive beams, he spied a dozen or so oxen. They were huge, the size of small elephants, and, strangely enough, they were deep blue in color, like the color of the ocean on a sunny day. You may or may not be familiar with the stories of Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox. If you are, now you know where they came from. Have you heard the story of Paul Bunyan and his trusty... Yeah, you've seen that cartoon? Well, apparently he came from the land of the giants. And our friend Jacques. Jacques saw nothing of value, and nothing he could possibly haul down the beanstalk. With night fast approaching, he was about to give up and return empty-handed. Then he spotted a lone goose in a small cage. Goose. Snoring goose. The cage sat by the road on a four-legged stand, adjacent to the chicken coop. Though normal in size for a goose, or perhaps a bit scrawny, the bird looked tiny compared to those giant chickens. Jacques would much rather bring home a gold coin, but the goose looked to be the only creature here small enough for him to carry in his backpack, and whatever he took had to fit in the pack. He needed his hands free to down climb the stalk. The poor goose wasn't much, but it would at least provide a meal. Jacques scrambled down from the wall and scurried over to the goose's cage. There, he slipped off his rucksack. The goose was clearly nervous, but he spoke to it in soothing tones. When the goose calmed down, Jacques opened the cage and petted it, careful not to let it escape. "I won't hurt you," he said, keeping his voice low. I don't know if I can say the same for my mother." He noticed a funnel-like apparatus beneath a fist-sized hole in the bottom of the cage. It looked like a small chute that came to the front. "It looks like you lay eggs," Jacques said. "Do you lay eggs? Because if you do, I will take good care of you." After a minute or two, the goose allowed him to pick it up. When he attempted to slip the bird into his pack, it panicked. The bird honked and nipped and flapped and struggled. Jacques finally got it into the pack, where it continued to struggle. He barely got the pack tied shut, which seemed to calm the bird, when he heard a shout. "You there! What are you doing?" Jacques threw the pack over his shoulder, turned, and ran. Fortunately, he didn't have to climb the wall because he was already at the gate. As he earlier surmised, he had no problem slipping through it. When he glanced back, he saw the pursuer, a young man, a boy perhaps, but he stood over twice as tall as Jacques, and he had very long legs. Luckily for Jacques, the boy was clumsy. The gate slowed him down because he had to climb over it, and Jacques, as you know, was extremely quick. By the time Giant Boy surmounted the gate, Jacques was 200 feet down the road. He made his legs pump faster, then faster still until they were nearly a blur. At one point, he slowed and risked a glance back. The boy was still coming, but he was lumbering along, sucking wind a long way back. Despite those very long legs, something about being that big was not at all helpful when running. Jacques kept an eye out for his market of stones. When he spied the small collection, he ran past it, calculated that the gathering dust and his lead on Giant Boy would mask his move into the wheat. When Jacques ducked into the field, he bent low and took long, careful steps. As before, he worked his feet between the stalks, careful not to bend or trample them. A good tracker could have followed him, but he didn't figure Giant Boy to be a good tracker, especially in the evening gloom. Fortunately, the goose made no noise. He thought perhaps it felt safe, tucked into the small pack. By the time the Giant Boy approached the marker stones, Jacques was crouching by the passage between their worlds, and when Giant Boy passed by, searching farther down the road, Jacques started down the beanstalk. He climbed down through the swirling gray fog of the ever-present cloud. As usual, the cloud wetted the stalks and branches, making them very slippery. At one point, Jacques' foot slipped, but he didn't fall. That was because he was careful to always keep both hands and one foot, or both feet and one hand, in contact with the beanstalk. Jacques could just about tell where he was by the brightness of the cloud that surrounded him. In short order, he emerged once again into his own world. All around were puffy white clouds and bright sunlight. Jacques had definitely gotten better at going up and down the beanstalk. He reached the ground a little more than 2 hours later, which was a new personal record. Now he would have to face Gertrude Grundy, and he expected their mother would be none too happy with nothing more than a scrawny goose.